all that glitters, even the stars, all things precious, even your life. The King of Bandits can steal it all in the blink of an eye.
Konnichiwa, minasan, I'm Matayu, and this is manga you may have missed. I have no lead into this one. Jing, King of Bandits. Odorable Jing, or Jing, King of Bandits, is a 7-volume manga series written by Yuichi Kumakura. A sequel series called Jing, King of Bandits, Twilight Tales also ran for 7 volumes. It was originally published from November 1995 to July 1998, the first series in Comic Bonbon, and the second series in Magazine Z. The series was licensed in North America by Tokyopop. It was adapted into a 13-episode anime by Aniplex and Studio Dean, and directed by Hiroshi Watanabe, and a 3-episode OVA by the same director and studios called Jing, King of Bandits, Seventh Heaven. The anime was licensed in English by ADV, but is now distributed by Section 23 Films. The license for the Seventh Heaven OVA was transferred to Funimation in 2008. Jing, King of Bandits, has a running theme of alcoholic references. Jing in Japanese is pronounced gin, like the drink. The chapters are referred to as shots, and at least one person in each storyline is named after an alcoholic beverage, with towns being named after cocktails. Jing, King of Bandits, is episodic. Each shot has Jing and his partner Kier, 9 parts white wine, 1 part creme de cassis, trying to steal a different item. Each shot also has a different girl that follows the pair around, similar to Bond girls. This is the story of a thief, specifically an uncommon thief. It is the story of the King of Bandits. We see a skeletal figure on a sleigh pulled by a skeletal fish. This is not his story. He is overshadowed by something large. The large something is in fact a sand whale, number 95 to be precise. In this world, travel is done by dangling a giant carrot in front of giant aquatic mammals and having to pull a badly designed cart on tractor treads. High-class transportation this is not. A group of rough-looking men are sitting in the cart. Their destination? The city of thieves. They warn a small figure standing on the hand mounted in front of the cart, to hold the fishing rod with the carrot on it, of course, not to lose his balance. The title page shows the figure to be a young boy in a trench coat with some kind of bird on his shoulder. This is our titular bandit king, Jing. The shot is entitled The City of Thieves, and the title page also shows the eponymous city. The City of Thieves, a disgraceful place where the pettiest of criminals and kingliest of kingpins flock from the 4 corners of the world. For what reason? They won't say. It's almost as if there's something there that draws them, like moths to the flame. The narrative captions describe Jing's and our destination. We're greeted by a statue of punk rock Eggman at the entrance to the city. Jing is more impressed by the city than the narrator is. The bird on his shoulder points out a rumor that the City of Thieves has women. Trust me, I've seen much weirder things than a bird attracted to human women. While Jing and the bird, Kier, are staring at the passersby, a Dragon Ball Z character steals Jing's wallet. Another man lures Jing to the theft and laughs at him, saying that the pickpocket is too fast to catch. Jing isn't worried. He extends a hidden blade out of the sleeve of his jacket and says he'll use it to catch the pickpocket. The man is less than impressed until Jing slices the base of the Eggman statue. The statue topples, its upraised fist coming down squarely on the pickpocket. Jing asks Kier what they should do to the thief. Kier suggests laceration. The man begs Jing to wait a second. After the asked-for delay, Jing launches a flurry of strikes at the man. The man's coat is torn open, with not a scratch on the man himself. This reveals a collection of gemstones. The pickpocket says he was just borrowing them, to which Jing responds that he can have as many as he likes, except for a single jewel on a chain, which appears to have a woman carved into it. Or encased in it. There's no way to tell. Kier says that doesn't sound like something Jing would normally say. Jing responds that the man probably heard him anyway, given the size of his ears. Meanwhile, from the very top of the city, the real punk rock Eggman has identified Jing. He screams to unseen forces to ready the defenses. Sometime later, Jing and Kier are wandering the city. I especially like the sign that says no diving in the middle of a desert. They are stopped by someone they can't see until their gazes are directed downward. The speaker is an old woman. Jing asks her what's up. Kier says he should have said down and calls the woman a hag with predictable results. Ignoring Kier, Jing is by contrast especially polite to the woman. She asks if this is Jing's first visit to the City of Thieves, which it is. The woman has lived there for a long time, prompting Jing to ask her a question. He wants to know about a gem called the Double Mermaid. He indicates its size using a bystander's scar as a measure. As the irate man chases them, the woman tells Jing that the City of Thieves was supposedly built around the jewel. That's where the city got its name, and why so many criminals gather there. Jing asks where to find the jewel. The woman says it's over Jing's head, as the Bandit King trips the scarred man off the side of the walkway. It is, in fact, way over Jing's head, up in the lighthouse at the top of the town, to be precise. The woman tells Jing that stronger men than him have tried and died to get the Double Mermaid. The mayor of the City of Thieves, Cognac, lives in the tower and has a habit of decapitating trespassers. Jing, considering all of this, says it sounds like fun. The three wander into the black market, which only sells stolen goods. The woman offers Jing a tip. She tells them to head to a saloon called Dragon Paw, and that the boss there, Vodka, will know something. Jing thanks her and the two walk away. Kira is a little suspicious of the old woman, who is oddly knowledgeable. Apparently a bug told him that she's actually a monster. The informant has since been devoured. At the Dragon Paw, Jing and Kira are greeted by a man being tossed out the door. Kira tells him he should be wearing a coat, and the two enter. Kira notes that the bar doesn't serve minors as the two look around. Spotting two women, Kira flies off to make a fool of himself, leaving Jing to wander around the establishment. Jing walks up to a bunch of pirates sitting around a table and asks the largest one if he's the boss. He assumes his guess is correct on the basis that the guy is the ugliest. Oblivious to the underlings backing away from the table, Jing starts to ask if the man can help him. He is interrupted by the man's reaction to being called evil-looking. The underlings introduce their boss as the Mighty Vodka. We shift focus to Kira for a second as he gives his girls a pair of rings. Our attention is brought back to Jing as Vodka tries to impress the boy by showing him his treasure collection. He lifts his coat to show his prizes, eliciting no reaction from Jing. Vodka says the best item is still yet to be seen. He roots around in his mouth, muttering that he was sure it was around his wisdom tooth. Jing holds up a large stone and a rotten tooth. He says Vodka doesn't need to thank him for the impromptu dentistry. Meanwhile, Kira is still with the girls. A multi-eyed henchman of Vodka says he didn't see when Jing stole the gem, and Vodka says he was only pretending not to see it. He thinks to himself that Jing is making a mockery of him. Jing offers to put the gem somewhere where no thief can find it. He flicks the rotten tooth into Vodka's stomach, making everyone believe that he had tossed the jewel. The pirates get poised to attack him, Jing wondering what all the fuss is about. He's just helping. Not even he would be willing to steal something from Vodka's stomach. This comment proves to be the final straw, and the pirates attack. Jing leaps away before being stabbed, landing in front of Kier and grabbing him by the neck. Kier glows brightly and fuses with Jing's arm. Jing fires off a Kier Royale, 9 parts champagne, 1 part creme de cassis. The resulting explosion fills the room with smoke. Jing and Kier emerge from the dust. The pirates cower in fear as Kier coughs up a lung. Kier berates Jing for pulling him away from a date while the pirates look on in shock. One of the pirates tells Vodka to teach the kid a lesson, but Vodka, scared out of his mind, says it'd be beneath him. Instead, he offers Jing a position on his crew. They spend the night thinking up plans to raid Cognac's fortress. Then they spend the next week figuring out which one to use. They finally agree on a plan to get the Double Mermaid. As thieves, it is only logical that they thieve it. Jing says that they use a rather unaerodynamic dragon to fly to the lighthouse. The pirates laugh at this for the obvious reason: the dragon's wings couldn't possibly provide enough lift to get the dragon off the ground. One of the pirates explains that the dragon used to be able to fly, but it has since gained too much weight, which made its wings shrink. It's landbound now. Vodka tells Jing to leave the thinking to him, and to instead concentrate on preparing for the victory party after the pirates return with the jewel. Kier asks if Jing is really going to set up a party, and Jing instead opts to sit and stare at the dragon. Kier tires of this rather quickly and goes off to find a woman. Later in the day, Kier returns to find that Jing still hasn't moved. Jing tells him to be patient. Sure enough, a giant spiked ball crashes out of the side of the tower, carrying Vodka and his men with it. Jing is completely unsurprised, asking Vodka how it went. Vodka asks for alcohol to disinfect his wounds. The next day finds Vodka and his crew trying to feed a Trojan cake to a living gate. It refuses the confection on the basis that it is brushing its teeth. Vodka quickly formulates a new plan that involves stripping. He sews together his men's clothes to form a makeshift hot air balloon. Jing and Kier watch to see how this gambit plays out. Vodka's confidence is overshadowed by the crosshairs of a rifle. Or rather, the crosshairs of a gargoyle crossbow thingy. Punk Rock Eggman, or rather mere Cognac, provides the simple response to invasion by hot air balloon: popping the balloon. Jing, of course, predicted this, as anyone with half a brain would. Vodka berates Jing for not doing anything, as well as his men for being useless. He orders Kier to make an observation diary of the obese dragon, seeing as he's not doing anything else. Vodka decides to retire for the day to think up a new plan. The naked pirates also leave, and Kier suggests that he and Jing do the same. Jing, however, has been waiting for a very specific moment. The moment that the pregnant dragon lays her egg. He jumps into action, grabbing the newly laid egg and telling Kier to fly to the top of the tower. Both the pirates and the dragon take notice of this. He tosses the egg to Kier. The dragon protests this, but Kier takes off anyway. Jing climbs on the dragon's back and urges the pirates to follow him. The dragon is platinum mad. With an enormous effort, the dragon rises off of the ground in pursuit of Kier and her egg. This shocks both Vodka and his crew, and Cognac, who quickly readjusts to fending off Jing instead of Vodka. He shoots a gargoyle crossbow bolt at Jing. It bounces off the dragon's back. As they pass Cognac's fortifications, Jing drops a taunting note. Kier runs into an arch and drops the egg, prompting a full-speed charge from the dragon. The dragon rams into the tower, prompting Vodka and his crew to be grateful that Jing is on their side. Jing has managed to catch the egg. He places it beside the now unconscious dragon. The lighthouse is powered by hundreds of wax candles. Jing deduces that in the center of the light show must be the Double Mermaid. It's a mermaid, alright, but it's no gemstone. Jing is greeted by the sight of an actual mermaid strung up in the center of the ring of candles. A living mermaid that turns her head to look at him. Jing mutters to himself that the old legend he had heard about the double mermaid was true, that they are actually crystallized creatures. He wonders where the other one is, as Cognac asks Jing what he thinks of his treasure. He says it was clever for Jing to manipulate a mother's love for her child into a free ride, although some might consider it kidnapping. Some might even consider it an offense worthy of death. He summons a 100-eyed monster named Hyakume, who actually has only 9 eyes. Hyakume means 100 eyes. The mermaid calls for Jing to run, but instead Jing decides to question Cognac's right to call him a kidnapper. Cognac ignores the questioning of his moral justification and orders Hyakume to attack. The giant takes a swing at Jing, who is knocked back. He falls to the ground and Hyakume comments on how easy the fight is going. Jing gets back up to his feet and comments on how bad Hyakume's vision is. He didn't even notice Jing slicing off his arms. Hyakume is not a monster for nothing, though. He spouts 13 additional arms, which he waves in a threatening manner. Jing responds confidently, saying that he'll just have to remove the new arms in one shot. One shot of a Kir Royale. Or not. Kir refuses to fire, and I mean that literally. He's pissed at Jing, expressing it at the worst possible time. Hyakume shatters the fourth wall as he prepares to shatter Jing's spine, and Jing pleads with Kir to stop being an ass. Through the fury of fists, Jing explains that they're trying to save a beautiful woman. Kir is naturally skeptical, so Jing flips over Hyakume's head. This brings Kir beak to nose with the mermaid girl. Kir assents to assisting Jing. Hyakume, mildly irritated by being used as a stepping stone, turns to look down the beak of a now cooperative albatross. The Kir Royale blows a giant hole through Hyakume. What wasn't obliterated instantly shatters into pieces. Kir leaps off Jing's arm and starts unbinding the mermaid, as Jing starts toward Cognac. The mayor attempts to flee, but his exit is cut off by Vodka and his pirates bursting through the door. The mermaid notices her mother in the crowd. Vodka? No, the old lady who assisted Jing upon his arrival in the city. Only she's not as old as she seems. The double mermaid, a mother and her daughter. The mother thanks Jing for rescuing her daughter, Cider. In total, Jing has reunited 2 mother-child pairs this day. We'll ignore the fact that he was the reason why one pair was separated, as Jing decides that the gem with the figure of the woman in it is enough profit for the trip. He thinks of his own mother as he gazes at it. And pin-up shot. Vodka is overcome with emotion until he comes to a sudden realization. Jing is the king of bandits. From a family so talented at theft, it is said that they could even steal the stars. The pirates turn to face him, but Jing has already left the building, along with 3 gold goblets. The end. The anime adaptation stands up pretty well. A couple of things were cut, such as Kur's refusal to fire, and a few were added, such as the dragon's egg being taken by men working for Cognac rather than by Jing. Hyakume has no lines, and a character named Postino arrives and departs halfway through the narrative. Postino is in every episode of the anime, yet only appears 3 times throughout the original manga and Twilight Tales combined. He exists as a parody of Deus Ex Machina, often providing a helpful hint or exposition to Jing and Kir, as well as highlighting the oddity of Jing's world. The anime is brighter in terms of colors than I envisioned the manga to be, but it works, as do Jing and Kir's Japanese voices. Their voices work really well, in my opinion. The English vocal cast does an equally good job. A slight change is Jing's battle cry from Kir Royale to Give me a Kir Royale. It's not as irritating as I thought it was going to be, but bear in mind that Jing relies on the Kir Royale much more in the anime than he does in the manga. Jing, King of Bandits, is a fun, slightly strange, episodic romp through a fun, slightly strange world. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and provides an enjoyable read.